The final full house at Eldon Square here in Newcastle for the concluding session of the 1984 Jameson International Open. Good evening, and the match they'd come to see was between Steve Davis, the defending champion, and the man who won the title in 1982, Tony Knowles. Out commentary by Rex Williams and Ray Edmonds.
So we come to the final frame of the afternoon session, 7th. Out of this best of 17 frame match. And I'm sure Tony Knowles will be relieved to have stopped the rot a little.
One. Steve Davis, 1. One.
And certainly that would have been a great opportunity for Steve if he'd managed to get position on the black. As it is now, he's got to find a spot in that far end of the table.
Steve Davis.
So Tony can't get through to the one in the right-hand pocket, but he's failed to do that.
One.
And that was another good shot played with slow drag, which killed the pace of the white after it had reached the black, after it reached the red, rather.
8. Nine.
Well, this is a terrific chance here for Tony. That little cannon onto the other red, I think, has
16.
opened the black up into the other pocket now.
17.
'Not sure if he's gone quite far enough there.
24.
Won't be too happy with that because he's now got to go back up to the bulk colours. Had a big margin of error actually on that shot. It was a bad shot on the black.
25. 27. 'Tony Knowles, 27.
Well, Steve Davis forced to go for that difficult red. And once he decides he's got to go for it, all his concentration goes into potting the red. Isn't worried about missing it. And what a great chance he's given himself.
Eight. 9. 11. 12.
'Well, the red that is behind the black is just making it difficult to stun off the cushion back onto the other reds. But Steve has played a very good shot.
19. 20. 27. 28. 35. 36. 43. 'Steve Davis, 43.
Well, it just looked for a moment there as if Steve Davis was going to really take this match by the scruff of the neck there and win this 7th frame, but another chance for Tony to get back into it.
Well, that wasn't easy, and Steve didn't expect to leave it over the centre pocket.
One.
Didn't get that quite as thin as he expected. Didn't expect to hit the yellow like that.
Tony Knowles, 1.
Well, I think that Steve has snookered on both reds. He's looking to see if he can clip the one by the black. No problem in hitting the reds here off the cushion, and he may elect to leave the one that is safest where it is. He's 17 points in front.
And as is usual in the case of these finals, particularly this final frame of the afternoon session, the 7th, extremely vital. 4-3 down is a lot better when you're having the interval than 5-2. What a beautiful shot. Just 16 points behind now.
Four.
Well, I think that he's got the red into the centre pocket.
5. 'Knowles, 5.
Well,
Steve Davis, 45.
that really is a bad
Knowles,
miss there from
33.
Tony. What a shame, because he'd potted a super red to get in.
Yes, Rex, that's the kind of shot you have nightmares about.
2.
And I'm sure Steve Davis was virtually resigned to
5.
losing that frame from that position. All of a sudden, it's on a plate for him.
9. 14.
And I'm sure Tony will be thinking about that shot between now and the start of the evening session. So Steve Davis takes the 7th and final frame of the afternoon session and goes into a 5-frame-to-2 lead.
Well, watching that crucial frame with me, Rex Williams. Rex, 5-2 at the end of the afternoon session. It could have been so different, couldn't it?
Yes, it could indeed. I mean, in fact, Tony could have been 4-3 in front.
Really?
The first game, of course, he should have won that, 50 in front and then lost by 1 point. And, of course, the final game, really, Tony should have won that.
As we've just seen. In fact, we can pick up one particular shot, I think, that was the clue to it all.
Yes.
He'd potted the green, and then he was on the red before the blue. The blue was the crucial ball, wasn't it?
Yes, well, we see him potting the red here. Now, he's nicely on the blue. He could have taken the yellow, actually, but he wanted the blue back on the spot. And now he's afraid of stunning the cue ball because he's so close on the blue. And he's got to get on the yellow. He's frightened of getting behind the brown. And there you see, that was a pity because it would have been so much more interesting.
Was it during the afternoon that Tony was playing below his peak, or that Steve was playing supremely well?
No, I think Steve's played very well. He's played very solid. Tony, I think, has played very well. But Steve's safety play has been immaculate, as it always is. He's found the bottom cushion so consistently. And I thought the one player that in this tournament might beat Steve was Tony, because he played superbly yesterday. But he's certainly got it to do now.
One very quick point, it does seem, even if Steve is playing indifferently during the earlier rounds, when it comes to the final, he just switches everything on.
Yeah, one of the things that really in Steve's favour, he's such a consistent player, and over 17 frames it becomes very difficult to beat him because the consistency really shows then. 9 frames, he's in danger, but of course he's not playing the best players. He plays the best players in the final.
Well, we shall see anyway. So with a 3-frame deficit, Tony Knowles really does have a mountain to climb, and we shall reflect that evening performance after the break. Session at 5-2 in Davis's favour. Let's move to the evening and frame 8. The commentary team, Mark Wildman and Ray Edmonds.
First frame of the evening session of the 1984 Jameson final. Steve Davis leading Tony Knowles by 5 frames to 2.
Eight. Tony
And
Knowles.
although there is a 3-frame gap between these two players, certainly on the balance of play this afternoon, it could have easily been 4-3 the other way.
Touching ball.
And can Tony Knowles do his amazing escape trick again? In his last 3 matches against Steve Newberry, he was trailing and came out a 5-4 winner. Against Jimmy White, he was 3 frames to love down and won that 5-4. And against Silvino Francisco, he was losing 6-5 and won the last 4 frames to win 9-6. But he certainly can't afford to miss reds like he just missed. Sticking that red over the middle pocket.
One. 6. Steve Davis, 6.
Well, that was a lovely red. Unfortunate to leave that white ball tucked upon the side cushion. There's a red at the bottom of the cluster that will pot into the opposite pocket.
Six.
Well, hasn't landed on a red, so Steve can only play safe.
Steve Davis, 6.
Well, the white ball didn't go quite where Steve intended. No damage done. I think Steve can just see sufficient of the red that's by the corner pocket here to pot it. A lot of distance between the white and the red.
And Dame Fortune just shining on Steve a little there. Yellow ball blocking the path of that red in the baulk area.
Now the red ball between the blue and the white will pot into this right corner pocket.
One. Foul. Tony Knowles 1, Steve Davis 4.
Well, Tony was just a little bit unfortunate in so much as the white landed so close to that side cushion. He couldn't really get any action on the white ball when playing the yellow, and has consequently given 4 points away. Couldn't prevent it going into that middle pocket, and here's an opportunity for Steve.
One.
As you see, Steve well and truly snookered, and will no doubt elect to play one of the baulk colours. Looks as though green may be his choice. Perhaps playing off the top cushion and the side cushion between that red and the right-hand cushion. Now he's nominated the brown.
Foul. Steve Davis 1, Tony Knowles 4. Free ball.
So, a free ball to Tony Knowles.
One. Three. Four. Ten. $11.
Well, not quite. As played, a little more to do on the blue to get position. Having a look to see if the black will go, but it looks a fairly thinnish cut.
Tony Knowles 11.
Tony
Steve
Knowles
Davis, 17,
really
Tony Knowles 24.
is going to have to take advantage of chances like that.
One.
Steve Davis would have liked that white to be another couple of inches off that back cushion. And he played it exceptionally well using the black to avoid the white running away.
7. 8.
Steve appears to have just the angle to knock that pink in and perhaps break the three reds upon this top cushion. The one to the left of the three reds may just pot into that left-hand corner. And there's a red into the middle pocket available. That's the three round the pink spot. And quite a few choices.
40. 15. 20. 21.
Choice of 2 reds, one into the baulk right-hand pocket. Another one into the middle, but taking the one into the top. That's a superb shot.
$29. 30. 33.
So 26 points the difference. Well, right on the black. An absolutely perfect angle to split the reds up. Well, that could have worked out just a little bit better.
$42. 48.
So yet again, a little bit of carelessness from Tony Knowles. Just a momentary lapse of concentration. And promptly Steve Davis, who hadn't looked too sharp for the first few minutes of this frame, gets into gear. And another frame virtually under his belt.
49.
Certainly with that one going in. That makes it sure.
$56.
Yes, well, as I said a few moments ago, Dame Fortune was smiling on him, and she certainly was there. Oh, and then he tried another one.
Steve Davis, 58.
And that break of 58 enough to clinch the frame for Davis to go 6-2. He'd won the opening frame on each of the sessions, and he was now 4 frames clear. The story continues after the break. Back and more snooker now from the battle between the top 2 seeds for the Jameson title. The holder, Steve Davis, excuse me, leading Tony Knowles 6 frames to 2. What can Tony do in the 9th?
Tony Knowles starts off frame number 9. And he's only 3 frames away from being out of the 1984 Jameson. And the way this man's playing, he's going to have to really pull out all the stops. prize of £18,000 for the winner of this match and £12,000 for the runner-up. Sorry, I've got that wrong. £30,000 for the winner, £18,000 for the
9.
runner-up.
There is also a prize of £3,750 for the highest break, held by Neil Foles of 140, and a massive £50,000 for the first player, should any do so, to achieve the maximum 147.
$24. 25. 32.
'Steve wondering whether to run through this red and get on the black. He could screw back for the pink. Looks as though he's going to go for the black.
33.
But he's running short of loose reds.
$40.
Well, I don't think that he's on a red. I don't know whether there's a plant amongst that cluster. So that's end of break. Safety shot coming up.
Steve Davis, 40.
And that looks very much like a snooker. So a very good start for Steve Davis in this 9th frame. Tony, I believe, can just clip the outside of this red to the top right hand of the cluster. He just shaved that. I don't know whether you saw it on your screens, but just tickled that red. Well, they're not going in for Tony Knowles. He knows he can't afford to miss those.
One.
Well, I think
8.
those two reds to the right of the pink are a plant for this right-hand corner. As you can see, it looks absolutely plumb on.
Nine.
Absolutely packed the audience tonight at Eldon Square. And although I'm sure they'd love to see a closer battle, they're still thoroughly enjoying this great snooker from this man.
$15. 16. 21. 22.
Bit short of pace on that shot. If he takes this black, he's going to have to break up the reds. He's 62 points in the lead. There's still 6 reds left, so he can't afford to miss this black. And down she goes.
29.
So 6 reds, that means 75 points available on the board. So this red will mean that Tony Knowles will require snookers.
30.
'And this is killing stuff, Ray.
37.
Absolutely relentless is Steve Davis.
38.
Yes, really, Tony Knowles isn't doing a lot wrong. He's missed the odd shot, but he's being punished terribly when he does miss one.
43. 44. 51. 52.
'So the break goes to 59, and that beats the previous highest
59.
of the match, which was a 58 by Steve in the last frame.
60.
And that puts him in line for the special prize of the day, a case of Jameson.
$67. 68.
And there's another little statistic. That's Steve's best break of the week. His previous best being a 70 against Alex Higgins.
77.
And in fact, we could well see a century break on here.
$80. 84. 89. 95. 95.
Well, he missed the century break, but a break of 40 and a break of 95, 135 points to nil, and Steve Davis goes into a 7-frame-to-2 lead.
Yes, Steve Davis surging ahead, looking so very confident. 5 frames in front now. Let us move on to the 10th.
Frame number 10. And can Steve Davis continue with this really crushing snooker? He really is playing some superb stuff. And Tony Knowles here, well, against lesser players, he's come back from this position, but it's asking an awful lot to come back against Steve Davis. And again, the red could have wobbled anywhere, but he really isn't having the rub of the green at the moment.
1. 8. 9. 16.
'Well, Steve will probably have to go for the blue ball this time. Doesn't seem to have the angle to get onto that black.
17.
'Try and get onto that red that's to the left of the pack as you look at it. So I'd like to place that white ball somewhere between the blue spot and the pink ball.
$20. 21. 28. Steve Davis, 28.
And again, that was a sample of how Steve is playing this match. Extremely hard. He had a possible pot red there, but very difficult. So just played an immaculate safety shot. Oh, and what a reply. Superb cueing to pot that red off a position tight on the back cushion.
Well, refusing the black to take the pink, which gives him an opportunity to knock a red out. Now having second thoughts. Can't really get on a red here.
Tony Knowles, 1.
So nothing going right for Tony Knowles. The super shot again.
Eight.
And again, the balls
9.
split very nicely for Steve there. And some may call him lucky, but I think one can quote Lee Trevino: the more he practices, the better he gets, and the better he gets, the more luck he has.
15. 16. 22. 23.
No, didn't go quite right, but he can get at that red that's near to that blue. That looks to be a straight pot into that pork left-hand pocket. Steve's 58 points in the lead. in a mean, hungry mood tonight. He's hardly missing a ball.
$35. $36.
Well, the lead goes to 63. And as we seem to be saying,
43.
Tony Knowles needing snookers once again.
44.
And Steve seems to
51.
react when there is a big crowd watching. The more people there are, the adrenaline seems to run.
52. Steve Davis, 52.
And that was another frame in the bag for Steve Davis, just one within retaining his title. Can Tony Knowles halt the champion's progress? Join us after the break. And now we move towards the climax of the 1984 Jameson International Open, with Steve Davis going for his third title in 4 years and 8 frames to 2 up on the 82 champion Tony Knowles. The point of no return for him. 1 frame would do for Steve. Would it be the 11th?
So frame number 11, and Tony Knowles now has got to win every frame to stay in the 1984 Jameson. But this man here is really playing some superb snooker. As we've seen before, he's reserved his best and most solid snooker of the tournament for the final. This is the 4th Jameson International. Steve won the 1st. Tony Knowles won the 2nd. Steve won the 3rd. And well on the way to winning the 4th.
Foul, Tony Knowles, 4.
And there's another error from Tony Knowles. He's done this in each of the last 3 frames early on in the frame and hasn't stood with any great chance after making that error. Steve's usually gone in and punished him most severely.
One. Steve Davis, 1.
Well, I suppose he had to miss one eventually.
One. Seven. 8. 15. 16. 23.
'Well, Tony may have to play on the blue here.
24. 29. 30. 'Tony Knowles, 30.
Well, just as Tony there seemed to have got into a frame, he then really played a very wild shot at the blue, really asking for the world.
One.
Well, with the Reds situated as they are, Steve Davis has got a lot to do to get a good positional shot.
Well, Steve goes back to his table, fits the extension piece. And now he can reach that cue ball just that little bit more comfortably. Well, there doesn't appear to be a possible red on here. So perhaps up behind that brown.
Steve Davis, 3.
30 points the difference then in the favour of Tony Knowles. Well, that's well short.
Steve Davis.
Well, I thought referee John Williams might have called a miss there, Mark, which would have given Steve the opportunity of deciding whether to play the ball from that position or have it replaced, and John and Tony to play from the original place. It was woefully short of those reds there.
Well, Steve's defensive shot has put Tony Knowles into a spot of trouble again. Certainly a feature of the match this afternoon. Perfect strength by Steve Davis when he played safe, getting that white ball very close to that top cushion, and he's done it again. Well, that was a nice little cannon off that yellow ball. And Steve Davis having a taste of his own medicine now. He's in trouble. Can't hit the group of reds. The brown ball's in the way. And just that red ball down the side cushion. Although Steve can hit that red down the side cushion, he's preferring to play off the side cushion into the group of reds. and played absolutely to perfection. Shot, Tony. Just starting to find his touch now. Oh, goodness me, that went all wrong. Steve was trying to use the pink ball to cannon up the table to a safe position, but has fouled woefully.
Yeah, you said Steve there, Mark. I think you meant Tony, of course. But it really wasn't a shot to play at a crucial stage in a match when you're fighting for your life. Can't afford to lose another frame, and really, I would have thought ultra safety was the order of the day. But now Steve Davis back in position again. A bit to do off this black. That was a tremendous attempt.
8. Steve Davis, 8.
And that very attacking safety shot from Steve Davis there opened the Reds and made it more imperative that Tony Knowles doesn't make an error. All the pressure on Tony Knowles at the moment. Can't afford to lose one more frame. And that was brought about by that very good safety shot from Steve. Now, if Steve can get a good position off this red. Not easy when they're as close to the jaws of the pocket as that one is. Not so easy to control the white.
One.
But I think he'll be quite happy with that one.
Well, thinking about snicking this yellow in. That'll take the white right up the table amongst those reds.
Three. Four. Nine. Ten.
So Steve Davis just 1
17.
point behind. But almost certain to go ahead from this position.
18.
And things starting to look
25.
very ominous for Tony Knowles.
26. 33. 34.
Now, good position on the last red. Got the perfect angle on the blue.
And just about everything that Steve has done tonight has been absolutely the highest class. His shot selection, his safety play, beautifully weighted shots, getting Tony consistently in trouble,